What's going on? How are you? How you doing? How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Oh, hold on. First they go, and then I don't know. I don't know. I guess no, I'm playing that, so I can. I always think I'm gonna get some kind of copyright thing. I'm like, that's not my song. That's not my home. What's up, Edward Thornton? How you doing? How's your weekend going? Is it negative degrees by you? Get ready for the trolls. There's a million of them out there today. I can weather the trolls. I can weather this negative degree weather. I can weather it all. That's why I'm here. Because, Edward, let me inspire you to never, ever be afraid of the trolls. I know you're not, but, you know, don't let them, don't let these Southeast Asian, North African, Russian, foreign paid actors, foreign paid assets. That's the word I was looking for. These foreign assets that Elon Musk has funneled into Twitter and Google has funneled into YouTube. Don't ever let them sway you, you know. Listen, they want the collapse of the U.S. Like Elon wants the collapse of the U.S. Donald Trump wants the collapse of the U.S. Almost as bad as a lot of Americans do, because clearly the institution has failed. And I always think of that quote from Tad Stormer that he gave me, resistance historian Tad Stormer. He says, when institutions fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. And we need to replace this system. Capitalism has run its course. It's in decay. It's rotting from the insides. It's produced morons, like the stupidest fucking people ever. You know, they voted for a dude. They were like, we don't like the establishment and the coastal elites. And they voted for a Democratic coastal elite Nepo baby who's best friends with Epstein. So, I mean, capitalism has done no favors to the American public. Let's put it like that. It's 65 there. Oh, you live in the desert. Okay, all right. Show off. Well, wait till nighttime. I know that desert gets chilly. I love Arizona. I used to go out to Arizona all the time. 65. So you're about 66 degrees hotter than we are right here. Oh man. That's amazing. Edward, you should join our Discord, link in the description, and send some photos of them gorgeous, gorgeous sunsets. Those multifaceted, absolute extreme nature rainbow sunsets. But good to have you here. Good to have you here. We're going to talk about today in a few minutes. If you don't know, the tyrannical government, Epstein's best friend, who is in charge of the fascist tyrannical government. He has brown shirts on, gray coats on the street. He has his Proud Boys posing as ICE, but they're just untrained Proud Boys, you know. And you'd figure they'd be better trained, you know, with all that militia work they do. What are they doing? Going out in the woods and touching each other's pickles? You know, what are they doing with all that militia stuff? Watching Joe Rogan take an ice bath? Jesus. These Proud Boys need to be what's the word? Sanitized? Not sanitized. You know when you neuter humans? What's that word? They all need to be neutered. I'll just say it. I'll say it if you don't want it. Every Proud Boy should be neutered. Let's stop that generational fucking flaw right now. Because they're all tiny, petulant brats. Cody, I did not. A friend of mine did. My artwork is over on the other walls. It's just how I have my camera set up. But I do love street art. And I think, well, maybe that doesn't qualify as street art. I'll show you some street art. I love street art. Support your local street art, folks. This is my favorite street art. I wish I got to see a Melania poster. I would love to make street art. Everybody should make street art, except for these two. They're ruining the country. But everybody should make street art. So yeah, I love street art. That's funny, man. Make your high school if you're still in school. This live stream might not. Well, no. I'll try to keep it PG 17. PG 17 is that a rating? Now it is. I'll try to keep it PG 17. If you're in high school, make high school work for you. Okay. Like when I was in high school, I did term papers on Tupac's shooting and how the police helped cover it up and put no energy and efforts into it. And I did another another paper on Wild Style, the movie, and how graffiti is a true form of art. And I just defended the points I believed in high school. So do the same, you know? Yeah, I hate the Clintons, proud American. Don't worry, I hate the Democrats and the Republicans equally. I'm a leftist socialist, so the only few Democrats. Well, Bernie Sanders isn't a Democrat; he's an independent. In case anybody didn't know, um, and Mamdani, shit, what was I just looking for? But I like Bernie because he says what I say. I've been saying this forever, Bernie. Get on the choo choo train. Bernie Sanders calls for income over 1 billion to be taxed at 100%. People can make it on 999 million. Bernie, let me be your PR guy because you need to finish this last statement with a fucking kicker. All right? It needs to be like, if you can't survive on 999 million, maybe you're living outside of your means. Okay? You can't say people can make it. You got to say, maybe stop eating an avocado yacht every day, Jeff Bezos. You know? J666, what's up? We talking about the ICE execution that happened? We're going to. I'm waiting for some people to roll in. This is a tough one today. How are you guys feeling? How are you feeling? And I'm not talking to the MAGA bots. We don't give a shit about how fascists feel, okay? Punch a Nazi. We don't care. We don't care. And J666, you see some maggots start chirping, just get them out of the fucking chat. Or Solus taught me how to do this, how I can do the chat. Amy, what's up? How you doing? Bye, 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 bye. But yeah, Bernie. Who else? Mumdani. But he's a democratic socialist. Again, socialist. If you're scared of socialism, you're scared of yourself, like the great Fred Hampton, Chairman Fred, used to say, because you don't know what the word means, and somebody griftier than you tricked you into thinking, ooh, it's a bad thing. Hold on, I got a meme for it. Hold on, I got a meme for you guys. Let's go through some memes before we get to the news. And J666, feel free to get rid of whoever doesn't tickle your fancy, okay? Here we go. Here's a meme for you. You only hate socialism due to CIA propaganda. Oh, and isn't that the truth, folks? I like to give you guys reading. I know MAGA doesn't read, but this is, I know it's Ned Flanders with his rollerblading helmet on, but this is a very true statement. You just have to read The Rise of Disaster Capitalism. And you can read about the 70s and how the CIA and Milton Friedman couped many South American countries. They couped it to take over and have an unregulated free market, which drove them into fascist dictators, Pinochet, et cetera, But pick up this book. Don't buy it from Amazon. Get it from an independent seller or your local bookstore. Support local art. But yeah, and we're seeing that now again. I mean, this is another rise of disaster capitalism story. I'd love to talk to Naomi Klein. She is one of my heroes. I don't know how she wrote that book, but it is incredible. So we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about today. I gotta say, watching this stuff in real time is heartbreaking. I think it's dehumanizing us. I think it's desensitizing us. I think it's horrific. I think it's tyrannical. I really, really hate that our tax money is being used to violate our First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, all the way, all the amendments, the entire Bill of Rights, the first 10 and the extra amendments. It's violating every amendment. It's violating the Declaration of Institution or Constitution. What is it called now? The Declaration of Fascists, the Declaration of Independence. It's absolutely violating that. You know, we don't have inalienable rights imbued by our creator, endowed by our creator anymore. Those are all gone. And like I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, it's funny because, you know, as a leftist, they say leftists are looked at as crazy people because we're correct way too early. So, you know, years ago when we were saying, hey, when they start doing this to brown and black people and they're treating the American Indian movement like this and they're treating this, they're violating Americans' rights, all of ours, you know? And now that it's white people, it's waking more people up, which is a good thing. Unity is community, and the community is the way forward. When institutions fail, you don't reform them, we replace them. And, you know, instead of our tax, $28 billion or more. 28 billion is what ICE invested last year on surveillance. They only spent 2.8 billion from 2007 up until then. So they're just, you know, they are a hardcore domestic army for Donald Trump, Epstein. They're the Epstein army. I'm sorry. I got to get my language correct. The Proud Boy popsicle sticks are the new Epstein army. They are meant to distract you from the criminal in the White House not releasing the Epstein files. Let's be very clear on that. But it's funded by you and I. It's about tax season. So just know when you're going to pay your taxes or you don't get anything back, that's because they're using the Epstein army to murk American citizens in violation of all their rights. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. He was a U.S. citizen, pretty, an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis Veterans Affairs healthcare system, no criminal record beyond parking tickets. Yeah, we're going to get into it. How are you guys feeling? To the actual humans in the chat. Today's another day where it's okay to say you feel shook up. You are shook up. We are all shook up. And we're, you know, and they're doing this in defense of this dude. Like, that's the craziest part. The Epstein army is just, you know, doing this so he doesn't have to, look at that tard. Jesus, this is the only time I'll use that word. The dude is a retard right there. Look at that, Joe Rogan. I didn't need to say make it legal. I could just call Donald Trump that and not give a shit. And people would probably cheer for it because they know he is. He's a fucking moron. Look, there's the brown coat, the gray coat, removing the weapon. This is how it started, by the way. Look at this. This dude is protecting two women while the Epstein army is spraying him in the face, and he's got his phone and one hand up. Phone and one hand up. And he's just going, nah, bitch, you know? But he was much nicer. By the way, MAGA, I wish we'd deport you. It's time you've been met with an equal and opposite fucking force, you know? We should deport you, because every time I read about MAGA in the news, especially the people pardoned by J6, turns out you're all PDF file criminals. That's why they don't do any checks on these popsicle stick Proud Boy Epstein army motherfuckers, okay? So read that, MAGA, and then go find your safe space, the Joe Rogan ice bath video. I know that's your safe space. You sit, look at his nipples, start to boop, and you go, no homo! And your mom goes, what are you talking about? And you go, nothing, Mom, watching Joe, leave me alone. Don't come down here. And then your mom comes down, and she's like, Jesus, Joey, put your pants on. Bunch of losers. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the reactions from Minnesota. Crowds are blocking exits as tensions explode and officers reportedly deploy chemical irritants. That's a war crime. You can't do that against your citizens. When does the Hague Part 2 start? But they're blocking them in. They're using dumpsters, and I fully support this. Do more of this. Trap them in. Make them stay there, those cowards. Should we do a history lesson? Or no. Let's talk about Joe Rogan real quick. Joe Rogan flips on his little criticism of ICE and defends them days after he went viral for criticizing them. Now, we talked about this. I don't remember if I played it or not, but Joe was like, I don't know about this ice thing, mass stage it to the street, you know, like tiptoeing the line because he didn't want to get a call from Peter Thiel, you know, JD Vance's handler. He didn't want to get a call from Peter Thiel going, we're gonna pull your Spotify fucking contract, Joe, because Peter Thiel is a major investor in Spotify, and that's how, you know, big circle thing. There's no coincidences. Spotify invests in this moron. Really? He's worth 100 million? Yo, I could listen to a dog fart and learn more than fucking Joe Rogan's podcast. My Christ. But yeah, Peter Thiel funds him. And that's why you see the CIA on his show, Peter Thiel on his show, all Peter Thiel's friends on his show. That's why everyone associated with his show has to defend Peter Thiel. That's why when Theo Von went on his show and started being like, you hear this Palantir thing? And this is how stupid Theo Von is. How could you be a mainstream media podcast guy and not know Peter Thiel is Palantir? They almost sound the same. Peter Thiel, Palantir. Oh my God, Theo, you are fucking dumb. Get out of the way. Let's see. But I know America doesn't like smart. You know, they like to be scared. That's American. You know, scare me into thinking the others are coming. So, anyways, Joe did a little critique, and then, like Sam from Majority Report said, he must have got a call from the White House. I think Peter Thiel was like, "Hey, Joe. You like your yacht? You like pretending to be an everyman while you go on vacations on a yacht? You better be quiet about what we're doing, Joe. You know, stick to fucking grunting sounds and dragging your knuckles, Joe. You know, stick to getting tricked by AI videos, Joe. Stay in your lane, Joe." That's what Peter Thiel said when he called Joe. So I just want to point that out. I love Hassan. He called it the United States of Israel. And here's one for the MAGAs in the MAGAs in the chat. There you go, MAGA. Does that look familiar? Is that what you were doing before you got on the live? All right, we got to talk about some news. So before we do, let's go over a quick history fact. Remember, Mussolini was captured by Antifa, anti-fascists, for those morons who don't know what that stands for. And his body was brought back to be hung from the feet in the public square. So in case you don't remember your history or know your history, Antifa don't come around, all right? All right. This is what you're going to hear a lot of in the mainstream media right now. We investigated ourselves and cleared ourselves of any wrongdoing. They're not allowing the FBI, Minnesota, anyone else to investigate. In fact, what I was reading and hearing about is that one of the top cops in Minnesota, or some top cop, said we're in uncharted territories because ICE is refusing even judicial warrants to allow investigators into the scene. So it's weird that like a top cop would be like, we're in uncharted waters. I'm like, we've always been there. You know, like the president had a ruling from the Supreme Court that he's above the law. No crimes apply to him. People elected him with 34 felonies, which usually like one felony will put you away for a long time. So we've been in uncharted waters. I love how like these fucking status quoers will just pretend. You know, they'll just pretend like, wow, this is shocking. Really? We have a domestic army on the streets. The Epstein army is in the streets, murking American citizens for no reason, because they're being filmed of their crimes. Like, that's why you're supposed to film these people. Always film the police. Always film ICE. Always exercise your rights. Those are your rights as an American. And for those cowards that go, oh, you shouldn't, just comply. Shut up. Your rights are gone, and you have no more rights, okay? Because that's how you want to behave. So your rights have been taken. We've revoked them. Hold on. Did you know Brazil's ex-president is in prison now and his Jan 6 type collaborators too? Oh my God, so much respect to Brazil. Look at Brazil leading the way, showing the world how it's done. What's the other country? Was it the Philippines? No. Was it I forget. I don't remember, but that reminded me of another country is putting their former president for executing martial law. They're putting him on trial with the death penalty up for punishment, which, I mean, that's how you do it, you know? That's how you do it. And I say we do it like old-fashioned New England. We do it witch trial style. We go, we're gonna put a big rock around your feet, and we're gonna throw you in the water in the freezing cold. And if you sink, you're innocent, and if you swim away, you're a witch, and then we gotta hang you. I say that's the kind of justice we have for these fascists, you know? Anyways. Hold on. Let me silence some of these idiots. Mark Carney is the new leader of the free world. Well, let's face it, the way he's speaking is good. And if he's cutting all those deals with China and cutting America right out of the mix, then probably. Imagine if Canada went to BRICS. That would be insane. Yeah, America is totally become an isolationist country. Like we are a third world country right now. F ICE. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. I'm Rob. Welcome to the live stream. I usually go live on weekdays, okay? But I'm here today because I feel like, you know, most Americans need somebody right now. You know, these are, as some stupid moron said, uncharted times. We've been in uncharted times. This is the second person the federal government has murked for no reason besides them exercising their American rights, all in sacrifice to Epstein's class and army. You know, that's all this is. They're protecting the Epstein class. See this little turd? And he is leader of the Epstein army. That's all this is. That is literally all this is. That and collapsing capitalist empire. You know, it's a slow decline though. So we could stay in uncharted waters forever. That's why the P had to rise up. Look at this dude, by the way. A Cuban-born podcaster. Oh, we have enough Cuban-born podcasters that are these kind of douches. With Donald Trump tattoos now facing deportation. So long. Bye-bye. 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 Who would do? I would listen. This is the epitome of skibbity. What do they call it? Beta cucks, soy cuck. This is the epitome of being bitch made. You have another man's face tattooed on your chest. Is this dude all right? Did he fall out of the stupid tree and hit every branch on the way down? Like, what is wrong with you, bro? Do you think that gets the girls? You're like, hey, you want to look at this old 78-year-old guy while we're making out? It's like, what is wrong with these people? This is how you know you're in a cult, okay? When you have Dear Chicken Supreme Leader on your chest, and people are like, bro, put the shirt back on. And then Donald Trump himself is like, deport that dude. He's a little too tan. He sounds like he's got an accent. That's what they're saying. That's what the Epstein army is saying to people. And this fucking dude, out of the country, get out of here. The only time I support this shit is when they have Donald Trump tattoos or they're moronic maggots, MAGATS. So, you know, unfortunately, I support this one. I also support ICE handling. Let's just call it handling. Handling Elon Musk's illegal immigration the way they have been. You know, this is the only time I don't even approve, but I would just say, if ICE is, you know, on edge and a little stressed, let me just remind ICE, the Epstein army, Elon Musk is an illegal immigrant. You should track him down and get him out of the country. I heard he resists. Anyways, did you see what the French general that's my French accent. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm only supported by viewers like you. I don't take billionaire money. I'm not a politician. Donald Trump is a threat to France, to Europe, and to first and foremost to America. Unfortunately, some Americans don't know that. Because like Adolf Hitler, he is dismantling the American Constitution. The steps are the same, creating a Gestapo with his ICE unit. The Americans are heading straight for disaster. Disaster. He can call it Gestapo. We here on the channel are going to start calling it the Epstein Army, in full defense of Donald Trump and his illegal, law-breaking, no law and order, unreleased Epstein files. Why? Well, let this poster tell you. That's probably why. That's probably why he doesn't want you to know that. Because all you maggots that were playing hardcore with the, you know, pew pew your local PDF on bumper sticker on your car and then MAGA underneath it. You know, you got to realize you've been living a lie. You wouldn't do anything anyways. Let's shut your fucking mouth. Fuck Ice. Joey Bones. Good to see somebody with the name Joey Bones saying fuck Ice. I like that. Maggots. M-A-G-A-T-S. 100%. They got brain rot. They got maggots in the brain. I got a job. I'm doing the Joe Rogan job. Oh, Jesse beat me to it. Beat me to it. Rob, want to know what my theory is on some of what's in the Epstein files they're so afraid of? I don't think you got to tell me. I've heard the Sasha Riley tapes. I've heard them. I know what Donald Trump did. I know. Why do you think he owned all those pageants? Why do you think he lived right next to Jeff? Why do you think he admitted, oh yeah, Jeff was stealing people from my place? Stealing. You know what that's called in the criminal underworld? Trafficking. So we know. We know we're not. Listen. I know most Americans are fucking dummies. Well, maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S. But there's a decent, just look at Minnesota. There's a good section of Americans who are like, nah, we've had enough. We've had enough. Do we need to go to the streets? Do we need to go to the streets? I think we do. And in case you didn't know, anti-ICE protests erupted in 70 plus U.S. cities today after the shooting of Alex Pretty. Pretty. I don't know how to pronounce it. No disrespect. Absolutely horrific. Very unnerving. Because, you know, fool me once, as George Twat. What's his last name? George Twat. George Vagine. George Bush. Sorry. As George Bush once said, fool me once, and I'm a fool. But fool me dose, and fools all of us. I believe it's a loose quote, but he said something like that. He's a moron. Who cares? I'm not going to try to quote a moron. Jesus. And God bless the people that are out in the protests in Chicago, St. Paul, Minneapolis, New York City, Boston's on there, because it's like 0 out. You know, people are pissed if they're going out in 0 degrees to stand together to say, you can't do this. We fought back tyranny once, and we'll do it again. Especially in, like, he's protecting him. MAGA, you're protecting this guy. That you look foolish. That's what that Cuban, you know that, hold on, let me show you this Cuban dude. So, can somebody do an AI and do Epstein on this side? And we can start circulating that? Because, I mean, he might as well, you know? This Cuban podcaster who's getting deported, he was MAGA. This is how much Donald Trump cares about you. Remember when he said, I don't care about you, I just want your, that's what he was, this is like the FAFO version of that. He probably couldn't even vote, but you know, he was like, ooh, I don't care about you. And you've already learned this on this live stream. When I play hold on, I'll play the clip for you. So you don't have to go, oh, what's she talking about? Fake news, yada, yada, yada. Shut up. You don't even know what fake news is. You listen to Donald Trump. Jesus. Here, this is the Arkansas farmer. I call him a soy boy because, you know, he farms soy. What else is a soy boy besides a soy farmer, Arkansas? Isn't the irony delicious on that one? Here's a farmer telling Donald Trump, you said you loved us, sir. Now we need to see the fruits of your love. And Donald Trump was like, shut up, idiot.
Mr. Trump, you looked at me, sir, and you said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love.
Oh, you're going to see his fruits all right. Yeah, so this is, you know, fool me twice, and we're all fools, or whatever the quote is. So this dude, do we think we could superimpose an Epstein? You know, can we do this face on the other side of that guy? All right. Let's see. All right, there's some people here. There's some people here. Getting a tattoo of another man's face on your cheek, chest, is crazy work. That is bananas. It is. I don't know what possessed that guy to be like, I'm getting an 80-year-old's face tattooed on me. It like wasn't even his nona or papa or whatever Cubans call their grandparents. I don't know. It was a political, like, these people are the worst of the worst. They're not only cringe, but they're like, you know, it's almost like they're too stupid to be like idiots. They're like foolish, you know, like they're fools. It's like, who goes to the tattoo shop and be like, you know, that 80-year-old guy who's president? Big and proud on my chest. What the fuck are you doing? Oh my God. Man, what does he talk about on his podcast? He's like, yo, homies, I'm going to get another tattoo of an 80-year-old on my butt. What are you doing on your podcast? Are you gonna podcast from Cuba when you're deported? Loser. Nixon on your back? You think that guy has Nixon on his back? I don't think he even knows who Nixon is. Most of MAGA doesn't understand like history, you know. Remember when they were all like, "We can't learn history. We don't want our feelings hurt." Remember when MAGA was on a tirade? They were like, "You can't teach us critical race theory. We might feel bad." And everyone was like, "Wait, aren't you guys the F your feelings crowd? Didn't you guys say like you need a safe space? You drink liberal tears? Like, you can't learn history because your feelings might get hurt? What's wrong with you? History can't hurt your feelings." Oh, what's up, Pazzo AF? MAGA really needs to stop calling themselves patriots. I don't call them patriots. They might, but you just say, you pronounce it wrong. It's fake triots. They are the least patriotic people I've ever met, 100%. They're like, hold on, I'm going to show you a meme. And thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I'm only supported by viewers like you. So Pazzo, you keep this live stream going, man. I appreciate you. Much love. Let me show you a meme that I shared, and I got a few hits on this one. Where is it? Here we go. Like MAGA, but you got to understand too, you know, like they're all liars and frauds. That's why they worship Donald. Hold on. You know Donald. He said, what did he say? This.
Smart people don't like me.
He said smart people don't like him. So he's followed by morons. And they're just a bunch of chirpers, you know. They don't believe in the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. I've already said that their "Don't Tread on Me" shirts, they thought it literally meant just them. Like the me was singular. They didn't understand the plural or the anti-royal we. They thought it meant like, as long as you don't tread on me, I'm fine. And they don't understand that like once one American's rights are violated, all of ours are. So yeah, they are fake patriots to the utmost degree. But you got to understand right now, a lot of these criminals, because most of MAGA is criminal, J6 pardoned, they're working as ICE. They're the Epstein army, which is kind of hilarious, you know, because at one point they were all like, release the files, and now they're like, we will defend the files to our scarediness, and then we'll just murk citizens. But we got to get to some news. We do. No, that's not it. Joe Rogan, fuck you. See, that's the other thing, MAGA. Let me teach you something real quick. MAGA. You know, you can't be an alpha. Well, there's no such thing as an alpha. Joe Rogan made it up to sell his fucking mushroom pills. Grifted. But here's the thing. If you're like a true man of character, integrity, and morality, you don't make up code words to say fuck something. You just don't. That shows that you're scared and timid and you don't want to, voice. You don't want to use your, what do we call it in America? What do we used to call it? You don't want to use your free speech. I think that's what we used to call it. I don't remember. It doesn't exist anymore. But a long time ago, back in the year of 2024, when the hypocrites like Elon were saying, we're going to make it legal to say the R word. And Joe Rogan was like, please, Elon, make comedy legal so I could just be funny once and I don't have to hump a stool. The rest of us understood that that was made up and you could say what you wanted. And this little cult of MAGA, they were so scared. I'm going to play some of the protesters in Minneapolis for you in a second, their reaction to ICE. You know what? I'm just going to do that because I'm going to show you what people who aren't afraid to speak up and say things and use their First Amendment rights. I'm going to show you what they sound like. Let me take you to Status Quo News, who has been one of the only main reporting from the scenes. CNN, Fox, MSNBC, they're not sending people. It's been Midas Touch, Status Quo. Go check both of those channels out. But here is a quick clip of, you're going to hear the people protesting ICE. Listen to what they say, MAGA. This is how you exercise your First Amendment right.
Minneapolis police have to fucking arrest somebody. They can't just let them drop.
Can you hear them? They're saying, fuck ICE. Kind of like I said, fuck Joe Rogan. He's the American regime's podcast propagandist. He's deputy chairman of podcast propaganda. And he takes his order from Peter Thiel. They are brainwashed idiots. Thank you, Santa Cruz. All right, so let's start off with this one. Let's start off. This is a question. Now, I know some of you guys are going to know the answer, but I want you to guess which one of these two people the federal government murked for holding a weapon. The hypocrisy. This is why we say maggots, Republicans, and a good portion of Democrats don't believe in the rule of law. They believe in an organized Epstein class oppressing every worker in this nation. When institutions fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. The replacements are coming. And here's the breakdown. This is what happened. Thank you, Steve Hofstetter. They attacked him for helping a woman they shoved. Several of them beat him until he collapsed on the ground. And they were pistol whipping him. One dude you could see in the video. Oh yeah, he says that. Sorry. They pistol whipped him while he was on his knees. He had both hands on the ground at the time. They took the pew-pew he had, a legal permit to carry, and then they pew-pew him. After he laid there lifeless, they pew-pew him 9 more times. But it was his fault. If he didn't want to be executed in daylight, he shouldn't have existed as an American. This is another dark day. Another dark day. If you're struggling with it, if you feel like you want to do something, if you feel helpless or hopeless, don't. Don't feel helpless or hopeless. Do something. And you know what one of the greatest things you could do? Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the beginnings. As an organizer, let me tell you, you could just check in with your neighbors. No joke. Text them. Hey, how you doing? You okay? Little connections like that. Believe me, stuff like that works. And do it often, Know your community. I know BlackRock, they all want to rent. They all want to buy every town in America and they want you to rent forever, so it's constantly new people coming in. But you could still build community. You can. Again, I'm going to show you some frame-by-frame stuff. This is how it started. They shoved this lady on the ground, and they bear sprayed. They They war crimed their own citizens. Now, again, the Epstein army doesn't care. The other thing I want you to pay close attention to, for having billions of dollars, like, these motherfuckers don't even have a uniform. Look at this shit. Who is this guy? What is that, Lance Bass fucking lookalike? What is this? That dude's got, like, they're all wearing different color pants, different color shirts. Fucking Tickle Me Cookie Monster came out of the cut. It's unreal. It's unreal. This squad of, like, how do we know that this isn't Jeff Epstein? You know what I mean? His height, his build. How do we know? How do we know? You don't. You don't know. They don't have badges or numbers. They don't have matching uniforms. I don't know if this was just, Donald Trump's good friend that just decided to dress up, put on a mask, and be like, oh, let's get a bunch of kids. Sorry, they're kidnapping children. Even the police can't just arrest a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. Like, that's not how shit works, And they're doing that. Why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think? There are no coincidences. Why do you think Donald Trump has his Proud Boy popsicle stick Epstein army kidnapping kids? Why do you think? Why do you think? Why do you think? I want you to think very hard, MAGA. I want you to think 1 year ago when you were listening to Dan Buttgina. Dan Buttgina, who quit the FBI because it husked him of his soul. It went, Foop! And now he's back to, peddling conspiracies for money. Why do you think Donald Trump has his domestic Epstein army kidnapping kids? Why do you think? Oh, I didn't even notice that the image changed. Whoops. Silly me. I love street art. But look at these freaks. Like, guys, go to, what do the Proud Boys shop at anyways? Abercrombie and Fitch? It's like, guys, just go together, like have a mall day. Go to Orange Julius and pick out your fucking uniforms together. My Christ, guys. My Christ. My Christ. Because Christ hates all of these men. All of these thugs that won't identify themselves, and we don't know if they're sending their best. At this point, we just can't think they are. Some of them are rapists, and most of them are pedophiles. So we just don't know, Show your face. Let's make sure that you should be doing this job, because if you're taking children, did they do a Corey report on these people? It's so amazing how these people. Hey, MAGA, here's something I want to teach you. Ice are cowards. 52 salute. I'll give you a 53rd salute for that comment. MAGA, if you're gonna come in and say something in my chat, like, add to the conversation. Have a thought. I don't know how to break it to you. Like, use your brain. Use your brain. Don't just repeat Donald Trump stuff that he called you, Remember when Donald Trump was like, my morons are the stupidest morons ever. They're stupid and weaklings, because you guys wanted the Epstein files out, and he was like, stop talking about Epstein. And you guys were like, come on, Bill Clinton dress. I love that that's what they always go to. Bill Clinton dress. Okay. Trump fucks kids. Sorry, something in my throat. Something in my throat. Had to get it out. Fucks kids. Oh, something. Oh, gotta get that out. But remember when Donald Trump called his base?
Smart people don't like me.
Fucking dummies. So I'm just going to reiterate that. MAGA, if you're going to come into my chat, just don't prove Donald Trump right. Don't prove him right. Don't make him be like, smart people don't like me. Look, 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 look. Oh my God. You do support ICE. Let me just take this 1 second. I don't support anybody. I think y'all are dumb out there protesting, exercising your First Amendment right for illegal immigrants. It should be, yeah. Listen to me closely, stupid. If they were going after illegal immigrants, they'd be in fucking Florida and Texas right now, okay? They're up in a blue state because that blue state has a welfare state where it takes care of its people, and Donald Trump despises that. He's going after this as a political retribution. And any American, which I don't think you are, that says, I don't support protesting, just know that when my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy was throwing tea into the fucking harbor, you were that asshole going, I just don't really support this protest. Can't you guys make some signs and hold them up for King George III? Jeez. That's who you were. So, not going to delete your comment. I want you to live with that. I want you to live with the fact that you're an American who goes, I don't believe in protesting. I don't think I should have a First Amendment right. Oh, Jess. Okay, Jess, don't delete Fragrance Man because his fragrance is that of anti-American sentiment. A lot of dummies here. Okay. So, oh. Can't you guys just bow to the king of the crown and support the redcoats? You know, the saddest part about that statement is that there were, you know, at the founding, there were, if you read about the, what was it, the Continental Congress or whatever, or what were they meeting before the, when the colonies were getting together in Philly, right? Um, there were states like New York who were like, we're not entering this battle. We're not doing this. This is a lose-lose. Looking at you, New York. Um, you know, so that was a real thing. So, I mean, those people have descendants, you know, they're the cowards that we see today. They're the people like Fragrance Man who say like, oh my God, I don't support their right to protest. It's just shut the fuck up. You don't support the First Amendment? That's really your comment? Like, again, MAGA. Like, I want you to think about the things that come out of your mouth. And I know, like, I was like, I don't support anybody, but you clearly do. You clearly, 'cause here, I gotta break it down. When you say, I don't support people's First Amendment rights, that's what Donald Trump's doing. He's saying, you don't have any rights in my Epstein Island. He's calling America Epstein Island now because we're an island nation unto ourselves, all because of the Epstein files. And when Donald Trump is sending these goons that can't even fucking coordinate, I mean, that is really like, you guys see me every day, black hoodie, black shirt. I tell my wife, I'm like, God damn, if I could just dress like a cartoon character and get away with it, I would do it every single day. I want to put zero thought into how I look. Okay, like, I just don't care. I will wash this every night, throw it back on because I'm sensitive to certain smells. You know, like I can't have too much detergent. I can't have too much fucking sweat. I can't have nothing. I'm like, wing, you know. But these motherfucking boys, these Proud Boys, need to, at least like when they were the Proud Boys, you know, they had the matching, you know, that gay yellow shirt. And I mean, like, in an offensive way to them, not to the gay community. I love the gay community. But I mean, to them, that was like, you know, that's like the death, that's like the stake through, what monster has to have the stake through its heart? Vampires? Werewolves. Silver bullet werewolf vampire. Got it. Got it. Got it. You know, that's like the death blow to these boys. And it's funny they called themselves boys. They couldn't even be the proud men, you know? There's so many issues here. Anyways, I'm nitpicking. But you know, really, like, guys, coordinate, you know? Like, I don't know if we need to do like a celebrity fucking TV show where, like, you know, Joey Fat One. That's how I pronounce it, not Joey Fatone. Or who else? I don't know. Who's like Kim Kardashian takes them out shopping, and she's like, "Listen, this is what my ex-husband wore, and you know he's a little of your persuasion." You know, and they just dress him all, you know, the same at least, because this doesn't look like, you know, this looks like I don't even know. It looks like fucking a bunch of rapists got together and they were like, we're gonna kidnap people. Hello, I'm from Germany and this is how it starts in my country in 1935. Yeah. But see, you Germans, you said we're going to learn history. We're not going to get sensitive over it. This is where I really admire Germany. They said we're not going to let people's feelings get in the way of teaching them history. See, in America, about 10 years ago, when Donald Trump was coming to power, because we've had to endure this Epstein class for decades now, they were fighting against CRT, critical race theory. And the whole argument by white people and Fox News was like, you're going to make us feel bad if we learn our history. And we can't have our feelings hurt. We're a bunch of sensitive pricks. And there was like a culture battle over that. And I stood back and said, this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever watched in my life, but you know, they'll do anything to distract from the Epstein files. And yeah, like most other countries are like, we don't give a shit about your feelings. Just do the assignment. Do the reading. I don't give a shit if you read it and cry. Just do your homework. But here in America, you know, white fucking Midwesterners were like, I can't read. I can't read. They were like, so it doesn't apply to you. And they were like, yeah, but I don't want someone telling me about it and feeling bad later. They were like, oh yeah, we should go on a crusade over this. You couldn't learn your history and possibly not feel good. Bunch of sensitive pricks. They were way too emotional. They were so emotional. The Republicans saying, but there's fraud. That is one of the funniest things ever, because if you've listened to Nick Shirley, the kid who did the fraud video, talk for 3 seconds, you'd understand, like, the kid has Velcro shoes. You know what I mean? So he's a moron, and he was grifted. And there was Republican fucking donors that led him astray to do this fraud. But just listen to that kid. I'm like, guys, here, I'm Rob, I'm your vibe coach, your official YouTube vibe coach. Because I teach you when your vibes are all fucked up. And I teach you how to live life, because I've done it. I've been here for a while, okay? And it ain't been easy. So I'm taking the life hacks I've learned, and I'm sharing them with you. If you're getting your news from people like Nick Shirley, Velcro shoe Nick Shirley, or Tim Pool, who admitted on his podcast, like, I was tricked by Russia into taking millions of dollars. He called himself a victim. You ever met a victim who made millions of dollars from a foreign adversary? Have you? A war criminal? Have you ever met a victim who was like paid handsomely by a war criminal? I haven't. Those people aren't victims. Those are co-conspirators. But if you get your news from people like Nick Shirley or Tim Pool, you might as well give yourself a swirly in the toilet, you know? You learn more. You'll learn more. Because you'll do it once and you go, oh, not doing that again, you know? And if you keep going back to Nick Shirley or Tim Pool, like these, Nick and Tim and the whole Fox News crew, they're telling you. I just played the audio of Dan Bajina the other day saying, I'm paid to push these conspiracy theories. Well, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Like, oh, is this a big surprise? They pay me to say things. Like, he has no backbone. He's just paid a lot of money, and he'll grift anyone that gets in front of his camera. Or in front of the TV, or whatever people watch him on. Do people even watch him? I don't even think people watch him. And when these people are telling you, like, they're idiots, you gotta believe them. You gotta stop confirmation biasing idiots, because it stokes your inner hate, which is just your inner insecurities, okay? Tim Pool? More like Dim Fool. Also, I take that Russian money every day and twice on Sunday. I would take it too, but I wouldn't be saying the shit he did, you know? I'd be taking it and I'd be funding all these protests. They'd call me George Soros Part 2. No, that was a rewarding of white pride. Do you have red laces on black boots? Greetings from the North Sea. What part of the North Sea? It's cold as hell up there. Tim said 100,000 was the going rate for his videos, so he didn't question the source, a front company for the Ruskies. Yeah, I was watching a lot of different YouTubers who were as popular as him, you know, sans the bots, and everybody was like, 100,000 is not the going rate for a week. Like, that's unheard of, you know, and that should be alarm bells. But again, he's a moron. He dropped out in like 7th grade. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Remember when everyone was saying, like, why don't you go to college? Why don't you get a degree? Why don't you do? Nobody's saying that to Tim Pool. And Tim Pool needs it out of everyone, you know? No, there is no proof he funds protests. I'm saying that as a joke because Elon Musk, do you remember when Elon Musk was trying to buy the judicial election in Wisconsin? And I have a video on my page of this lady goes, I did exactly what Elon said and voted for that person and I won $1 million. And I'm like, that's bribery. Like, Elon can't say, you want $1 million? Vote for this person. Like, that's They arrest people for handing out water in lines in Georgia at voting lines because they think that's influencing. And you're telling me Elon Musk can just give someone $1 million a way to vote? But I say that because during that campaign of bribery that Elon, the illegal immigrant, he's an illegal immigrant from South Africa. He's not American. ICE, please give him this treatment. The traditional Proud Boy way, I guess. You know, they love jumping on other men. That's what I heard about the Proud Boys. Don't ask me. You know, the Epstein army. And I have no problem with that. If you want to jump into the guy's bones, whatever. Land of the free to express yourself. But you know what I'm talking about, Proud Boys. That makes you feel weird inside. And that's why I say it. I'm preying on your insecurities because you got a ton of them. But Elon, when he was trying to purchase a judge, he went on stage and said, everybody is fun. Sorry, glitch there. And I have to sneeze really bad. But, oh, that was gross. Why'd you burp? By the way, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Red lace up, black boots is a white supremer thing. Yes, I believe there's some good infographics. We should get some J66 and we should post them up here so people are aware. Because they have to do these little white supreme dog whistles to one another because they're not proud of what they do, you know, because my Antifa grandparents had to beat them back into submission in World War II. But I say that about George Soros because Elon Musk, who was illegally bribing people to vote in elections, was claiming George Soros funds everything, which it's like, why would any capitalist fund any, like, they don't want to fund stuff, like, they like the status quo. They use it as a fear tactic against you. I feel bad that people, you know, people just need to wake up. We need to educate people. Anyways, stealth. Why ICE keep asking black people if they're U.S. citizens? Because the Supreme Court, Donald Trump's Epstein Court, we're just going to call everything Epstein. Epstein class, Epstein Army is ICE, Epstein Court is the Supreme Court, because they ruled that if somebody has dark skin, they can stop them. I mean, it's illegal, and there's precedent for that, but when has Donald Trump ever followed a law? Ever. Like, ever. He hasn't released the Epstein files, which he signed the law to release on December 19th, and I'm pretty sure it's past December 19th. I don't think watches show months, but maybe they do. I don't know. I don't wear watches. Time is made up. Do you think Epstein was Mossad? Does a bear shit in the woods? Even if people were paid to protest, it wouldn't be illegal. Well, here's the thing. You know the white supremers that are going out in defiance or in support of ICE? Like you saw them a couple weeks ago in Minnesota. And they're like, we're going to show up and show out. And there's like 6 of them. Like all those people were paid. You know Ben Shapiro? He does a podcast. He's paid by oil billionaires, oil frackers. You know Tim Pool? He's paid by Russia to give you bad information. Nick Shirley, I don't even know if that idiot got paid, let's be honest. But most of these people, and guys, here's what I do. It's fucking crazy. Because when I was growing up, you had to like go into a book and be like, oh, not in a book. Let me find someone smarter. What you can do is you go to this thing called DuckDuckGo. It's like Google. And you say, where did Daily Wire get its funding? And then you can follow links and verify sources and see for yourself. This isn't like fucking Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is a good show. And that wasn't even a mystery thing. This isn't like Clue, Who Done It. I wish I was paid by Soros. Unfortunately, thank you, Chris. I am funded by you, the viewer. That's it. Funded by you, the viewer. I think YouTube throws me like a penny for every billion views I get. You know, because they have to exploit people. They could never make $1 billion paying people's fair wages. So even though we create all the content, they take all the money. So I'm strictly supported by viewers like you, and I appreciate it. The situation is sad. It's worse than sad. It's horrific. It's terrifying. What you're watching right now is many moments of history happening over the past year, all in sacrifice to Donald Trump's god Epstein. But what you're watching is like, these are your rights being killed off. And you know, the sad thing is like, MAGA knows this. You remember when they were like claiming they couldn't wear a mask because that was a HIPAA violation? Like, these idiots will stretch anything. They know 2A, 1A, 4A, you know, they know the amendments. They just don't care because they think it's in service to what makes them feel secure. But the truth is, it's in service to hiding the Epstein files. That's it. That's it. That's it. He doesn't want them to come out. So he's trying to start a war, a civil war. But not really a civil war. It's more of like the government versus the people. It's not the people versus the people. It's like what would the government be? Oh, revolution. This is a revolution. It's already begun in Minneapolis. And the people of Minneapolis have stood so fucking strong in negative 30-degree weather. It's remarkable. So that's really what I wanted to share with you, because today it feels like a desperate, dire day. It just does. You can't watch. Hold on. Where is... It's just so sad. My heart breaks for this fucking dude. Oh, by the way, real quick, I want to show you this because this made me have some hope. Says something for ICE. Enjoy your last job. California won't hire you. Other states are drafting bills to prevent you from ever working law enforcement. No one will forget what you chose to be. So good luck getting work after this, ICE. I hope you saved. I heard about their $50,000 sign-on bonus. You know how it's structured? They get the 10 grand up front, and then they have to stay on for the 5 years to get to the rest of the 40 grand, which is fucking hilarious. I hope it was worth 10 grand, folks. You know, it just cost you your soul. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys this, because when you see the maggots in the chat, just remember this. We have a new heat map showing where the most MAGA accounts on X operate. Notice how not a lot in the US, but there's a ton over here. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, X is owned by a white nationalist who pays poor people of color in developing countries to pretend to be working class white Americans to care. Hold on, the chat's in the way. To scare other white Americans into believing, to be afraid of poor people of color from developing countries that are going to ruin America. I mean, you can't make this shit up. No coincidences. Hold on. Did I not save it? Oh, here. This is what I want to show you guys. Rest in peace, Alex Pretty. I don't know how to say it. This is horrifying, just like Renee Good. This is the government illegally taking the lives of its own citizens. It's tragedy. That's why I like the Greek language, because the Greek language will have like 5 words to describe some kind of emotion. And we need that in America right now. Like, this language needs to mature into the times, because tragedy just doesn't explain what has happened for a second time. That's what I mean. Like, when it happens the first time, it's a tragedy. After that, it's a catastrophe revolution. You know, like, we need to make up new words to really describe what's going on, because they fired shots of revolution at the people. That's all this is. This is the government. Remember what JFK said. He said, when you make, nonviolent protest impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable. They don't want you to protest. They don't want you to film. They don't want you to have free speech. They don't want you to have 2A. They don't want you to have 4A. They don't want you to have anything. That's a scary thing. All in service to Jeff Epstein. Who would have known? That guy is pretty powerful. He's really got his hand up Trump's butt. But this is who they took out, man. Absolutely unreal. my heart hurts for this dude's family. Anybody who's ever lost anybody, you know this pain. If you've lost somebody tragically too soon, like I have, um, there just aren't words. Let me take a side note real quick. That's the reason I know Erica Kirk is full of shit. She's a fucking grifter too. She didn't love Charlie. You kidding? She couldn't wait for that dude to kick rocks. That's why she was like, I'll host the podcast. JD Vance, take me from the rear. You know? Like, I'm sorry. I've lost people close to me, and I wasn't throwing a pyrotechnics fucking, monster truck show at the funeral. I just wasn't in the mood, let's say. And this bitch ain't got no feelings. I don't believe, in lizard people, but she's pretty convincing. So like I was gonna say, anybody knows that when you lose somebody tragically too soon, it's hard to speak that day. There's not the language of grief that you can speak besides tears and hugs. That's really all it is. Tears and hugs is the language of grief. So there's not much you can say besides this is horrific. This is horrific. This is absolutely a second horrific act your tyrannical government has imposed on you people and me, all of us, none of us. It doesn't matter where you're from. This is the shot heard round the world for a second fucking time. What's going to wake people up? What is going to wake people up? Does it have to be you? Do you have to know the person on the... This is why I was saying at the early part of the live stream, I said this is dehumanizing us and desensitizing us to what's happening. Because I'm starting to feel like unless somebody knows that person, they're like, well, it's way over there. And it's like, no, it's not. This is our backyard. These are our fucking neighbors. It doesn't matter how far they are. They're our fucking neighbors. And this should make everyone uproarious. Everyone. Love your podcast, bro. Jeep speaking for the people. Thank you, Eugene. I will always Jeep speak for the people. I'm just teasing. I'm having some fun. All right. So I don't know if you guys got to read this. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I've already read. My heart is broken. You can't break a heart any harder, man. And especially because I want to play this for you. I do want to play this. Sheila Zolnor, amazing YouTuber. Please go follow her and subscribe to her. She is, goddamn, bro. This isn't fucking 1986. User 6777 from Russia. Stop saying gay. Just stop. You're deleted for today and don't come back tomorrow. Everybody else, hit subscribe, hit notification bell. Sorry to be interrupted like that. Some people just were raised wrongly. Their parents were feral swine and you could tell. Hey, my back. I want to play. This is Sheila Zolnor from YouTube. She does a better job speaking than I do, so here she is.
His last words were, "I have done nothing wrong." Fox News just released footage that is somehow capturing his voice, and you can hear an ICE agent, too, I think, say, "Sprayed pepper spray directly into the man's face." And he's screaming. We saw video of him getting sprayed with pepper spray directly in his face. He's screaming, and he's saying, "Is that what you want to do? You want to kill me in the street? You're going to have to fucking kill me. Is that what you want to do? You're going to kill me?" And then he says, "I have done nothing wrong." And then they do it. What is this? What the fuck are we witnessing? We know what we're witnessing. We're witnessing executions. These are messages to everyone. They are outnumbered, and they are showing us this to instill fear because it's the only thing they can do to get a hold of this situation.
By the way, I just want to say real quick to everybody else that's in the live chat, you notice how when I called that one person out for just using the word gay, like in the worst possible way, and then I called his parents feral swine. Did you notice how that brought out all the other MAGAs, so I got to mute them real quick? I duped them. They're so easily tricked. This is like my point. Like Donald Trump tricked them easily, and I did too, because I knew as soon as I called that one dude out, I would get some of these little swines to come out and say it. You know, they were like, "Ooh, look at me, I'm a rebel." But I was trying to lure them out so I could silence them all, because you know their voice doesn't matter. They just need to shut up and be obedient. You know, to the Epstein class. Anyways, I just want to point that out because it always works. It always works. See, here's another one. Here's another one. We'll get them. We'll get them all. See you later, homies. See you later. I'm sorry. I know you guys are lonely, but you know, maybe you can be friends with your own belly button and draw a little smiley face around it or something. I don't know. I don't know. Male loneliness epidemic is real.
Situation. Because they can only rule by fear. And they see people waking up and they see people realizing that they don't have much to fucking lose. So they might as well get...
Workers of the world unite. All you have to lose are your chains. Injury to one, injury to all. Anyone? Anyone? I don't listen to Russia's bragging about ICE, you know. Epstein class. Oh, sorry, I deleted an Epstein class defender. You know what? I'm not. He said, this is wrong. I'm a Trump supporter. This is wrong. You know what? You helped get us here. You know, I kind of feel like with Joe Rogan, you know. I'm like, you guys kind of, you know, you listen to him and all you guys voted for him. You guys are the reason we're here, you know. That and Elon Musk helped him steal the election. We'll find out later. Don't worry. There's many reports on it. But, you know, I just kind of feel like even if you think it's wrong, that's cute. That's cute. Maybe you should be out in the streets, you know, being like, I'm fucking tired of this. Like, especially the people that put him here, you know. Especially the people that thought the Epstein best friend was going to release the Epstein files. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a little mad because we're losing real Americans. I'm not going to read your comment, but I like that you called him Joe Ragoon. This is Joe Ragoon. I love it. I love it. Bunch of maggots. That's all they are. That's all they are. Good to see you guys. Angel Blue Eyes. What's up? So that was Sheila Zolnor. Okay, go follow her on YouTube. She creates amazing content. Okay, guys. How are the real Americans, the First Amendment Americans, feeling? Are you guys okay? I'm glad I found you. We have to stop falling for manipulation. 100%. Do not watch the lamestream media like this guy. He's mainstream media. That's what his numbers. He's funded by Peter Palantir, you know? Pissed off and scared as... I can relate to that, Angel Blue Eyes. That's why I went live today. Usually I'm live every single weekday. I wanted to take some time out to check in, you know, have some camaraderie. Remember, unity is community. We need unity right now. Shaking. Let's see your hair. Another MAGA. Stop hitting on me, fellas. I'm taking. Maybe that's a stress thing, Sample. You just want to see another guy's hair, and you're just like, that will calm me down. Because you're staring at Tim Pool and Joe Rogan all day, and they have no hair. And you're like, let me just see some luscious hair. And I'm like, nah, I ain't going to be a live tease. I love when people call me sad, and they're in my chat. Nothing sadder than somebody in the chat being like, how sad, this guy does lives? I'm pathetically sitting at home in it. Aw, Sample, you don't have to flirt with me. Furious, Cass. Sorry, Joe the Toe is a gatekeeper, yeah. Shaking. Who was it? Who was it that said, where's Angel Blue Eyes? Pissed off and scared. We're offended. We are collapsing right now because they have us so divided. So divided. But Roxas, Stormcrow. Love that name. God damn, that's a fucking name. That's the name this polio Rogan wish he had. Roxas Stormcrow. Actually, that's kind of a name I wish I had. Stormcrow. I love crows. Stormcrow. Sorry, I'm obsessing with the name a little bit. But Stormcrow. We're not as divided as you think. Okay, I really want to give you this hope-filled message. Welcome, I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I am an ordained reverend. Welcome to the Church of Radical Communion. I'm going to start service Saturday night. Here's your message of hope. When you feel scared, pissed off, mad AF, as the kids say, when you're not feeling skibbity rhythmatic, I want you to look to the videos. Like I played the audio.
By the way,
Would you mind if I interviewed you about that reaction? John. I want to interview. Okay. All right, so I am standing.
I don't want to play the interview, but did you hear the people screaming in the background, banging on dumpsters? Let me show you some video or some photo. The people of Minneapolis have come together as a community. A whole city, a whole state has come together as a community to stand as one, to say, not...
I'm Sora 2, the new AI.
What the fuck was that? Good God. Too much AI ads. Like, we get it. I'm not using it, sorry. But Stormcrow, if I may call you that, I feel like you have an important role to play in the coming war. I'm just kidding. But with a name like that, you know, General Stormcrow, it's kind of badass. Anyways, Stormcrow, Angel Blue Eyes, understand that this is what happened before. Back in 1775, we had this tyrant, this little petty tyrant, just like we do now. And the people organized in Boston bars, of all places. They were all drinking, being like, you get a load of this fucking king, I'm done with that guy. And they were like, here, get him a chair and come here, you know? And the community came out together and they went to war. And looks like, you know, the government's saying they want a taste. And just remember, the odds looked the same before. We didn't have the great British Navy. We were called militiamen, the Minutemen militia, because they could drop their shit and be ready in a minute to stand together in their community. This is history. This is why the right, maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S, did not want you to know your history. Because at the time, when old Benny Franklin and Tommy J were out in France being like, yo, you got that money for this revolution? And they were like, you guys don't stand a chance, but we'll fund you because enemy of my enemy is my friend, you know? Seriously, we were up against, I don't even know, if Polymarket was here, they would have had us at a 0.001% chance. They were like, are you kidding? The Minutemen militia are going to take on the Royal Fleet, the Navy? Ain't happening. And we chase those fuckers back across the sea. Don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes. That's history, folks. And now we're living through it again. It just looks like banging on dumpsters and saying, fuck ICE. And people coming out in force, in mass. Let me remind you, Donald Trump and the Epstein class and his Epstein domestic army are a very small percentage. Like, how many millions of people live in Minnesota? I'm pretty sure if they all came out, this is why ICE is trying to, you know, instill fear, because they know they don't have the numbers. Remember that. Don't ever forget that. When I say unity is community and injury to one and injury to all, that means they're all our children. This Epstein army should not be allowed to kidnap children. Where are they taking them? What is going on at Little St. James right now? Does anybody have a live feed? Because I'd like to see and make sure these children ain't there. Because we don't know. He won't release the Epstein files. We don't know where they're taking these kids, these PDF files. And nobody can say, that's not why. How do you know? You don't know. They don't have badge numbers. They don't record anything. They disappear, these fucking people. And how do we know Epstein isn't on that island? And that's where Trump's going every weekend. How do we know? How do we know? But what you're seeing, may it give you hope. May these dumpsters give you hope. That the people came out and said, okay, we'll fucking block you in. Bitches, what are you gonna do? There's 12 of you that were beating up one dude, murking him. You guys gonna move all these dumpsters? Fuck you. We got a city full of them. And we'll pin you the fuck in. Because I don't know. If they're not gonna respect your rights, why respect theirs? That's what history teaches us. History usually teaches us that, when a king says, fuck your rights, you go, we got to play that game? Okay. And don't worry about the little squirms in the fucking chat that don't want you to have any rights. They're mostly from Russia anyways, and they don't have any. So don't be scared when the psychological operation to try and convince you that you're crazy by all these fake online people, don't let it work. Don't be shook by these fragile incels. It's midnight here, but never respect MAGA's butthurt feelings 100%. Oh, Jesus, here comes Billy. Billy, try again on Monday. Okay, buddy? Billy is a maggot that, has no avatar. Hey, Billy, just take a short video of you in America. Just prove that you're American. If you're saying, oh, they just disagree with you, just prove that you're American. You've been here for months, Billy. And I always say, just put a video on your channel of you in America. Just prove me wrong, Billy, and he never will. So I mute him every day. And he always comes back. He's got to make those ruples, baby. Tim Pool ain't the only one cashing in on this civil war, but it's not. It's a revolution, okay? Civil war is people against people. MAGA is already in ice, They're working for the government. Joe Rogan's working for the government. This is a revolution. The U.S. has fallen, folks. You have no more rights. That's what's going on in Minnesota. Your rights are gone. What do you think? They just took them from Minnesotans? You sure about that? Tim Robinson reference. Oh, this guy's still here. It's so pathetic when these maggots are just, they just want a friend. That's really what it is. They're like, please, please like me. I tried so hard with Epstein's friend, Donald Trump, and he just won't pay attention. Do you see all those Facebook posts? I'm not on Facebook, but people screenshot them to me, where they're like, dear Mr. President, you promised that you wouldn't cut my health care. And it's like, you fucking losers. You think he gives a shit about you? Oh my God, he buried his wife on his fucking golf course. You think he cares about you? MAGA thinks Donald Trump cares about them when he buried his fucking ex-wife on his golf course. I'm like, he didn't even care about that bitch. He don't even take care of it. There's no gravestone. He don't mow the lawn. And you think he cares about you? Let me play a soy boy Arkansas farmer for you who thought he cared. You guys are so dumb. Oh, it's gotta hurt to be that dumb.
Mr. Trump, you looked at me, sir, and you said,
I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruits of your love. You're gonna see the fruit of his loom. That's what you're gonna see. That's about it, buddy. He buried her for the tax break. Yeah. But that's what I mean. He gave such little shit about her. He said, I can bury her on the golf course. And these people think he cares about them. Oh, they're so dumb. They're so stupid. You are so stupid, MAGA. Here. Let me remind you. This is what America's about. ICE is saying they can enter your home without a warrant. Just a reminder that the Fourth Amendment says you can use the Second Amendment to stop that from happening. Real Americans will understand what that means. Oh, one more thing, because this one's funny for MAGA. You guys are going to love this. I'm Rob, ordained reverend. Try to give you a little hope. Most of the time we just comment on the news, but in times like this, you got to remember, unity is community. Reach out to your neighbors, see how they're doing, check in with people, form those alliances now. They will come a time where they're valuable. You're seeing that in Minnesota. But did you guys see, the tough, I drink liberal tears, what do you need, a safe space, we're going to make comedy legal again? Donald Epstein's best friend says he won't attend the Super Bowl because of the music. He needs a safe space from music. What a soy cock. Or what is it? What do they call it? What does Joe Rogan call people? What a woke turd. Oh my god. He needs a safe space from music? What a fucking loser. Who thought this guy was like a macho man? Oh my god. You guys are so pathetic. So pathetic. I don't get the people who are so stupid. They're like, man, I hate this. I'm gonna just stay here and keep commenting. It's like, I think Fox News is on all day, guys. You can go watch that and rot your brain. That's why we call you maggots. MAGATS. Because you got maggots in the brain. Remember when you guys were like, oh, you need a safe space? F your feelings. Well, here's Donald Trump saying he can't go to the Super Bowl because he's scared of music. He's scared. The music's not going to be nice to him. Oh, no. Oh, no. Maybe he can get another trophy somewhere else. Maybe he can ask the winning Super Bowl team to give him a trophy because he needs a participation trophy for everything he does. It's like, you can't even make this shit up. He's not going to the Super Bowl because of the music might be mean to him. Not because of the game, but because his feelings might get hurt. The music is not nice these days. I don't know, maybe to try not being Epstein's best friend and co-conspirator. Love Bad Bunny. I don't even really like listen to Bad Bunny. He's a great dancer. Just I don't know. I'm too old. And I don't like Green Day. But those are the two acts that both fucking hate him. Green Day has been very vocal about it, which I support that. I just don't, care for the band. But it's just so funny how these tough skibbity Alpers, Jack Helpers, whatever they're called. I wonder if Joe Rogan will talk about this. Joe, you should have Donald Trump on and go, why aren't you going to the Super Bowl? What about music scares you? What is it? That it's not worshiping you? Would you rather have the North Korean national anthem play at the halftime show? Oh my God. These people are a joke. Ooh, we the people are tired of paying for his orange ass to go anywhere. I know. I can't believe we're paying for this shit. What a weird band to pick to play. Well, they're not playing the halftime show, Miss Tessa Marie 21. They were just picked to do like the opening stuff. I don't even know if that's televised. I don't know. I don't watch TV. But they were picked, and they've been very vocal and outspoken against Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, fascism, XYZ. So, it's cool. Very timely. You're watching, though. Sunshine Euphoria, I will watch the clips. I will get it clipped for me. That's how I'll watch everything. There's a rare thing I will watch. No, there's stuff I'll watch live. I'll find a way. So sick of this clown and snake. Even the Super Bowl hates him. I know. I really hope. I don't know who's in the Super Bowl or who's going to win or anything like that. I just don't care. Football's irrelevant. It's like the country getting together over a high school game. And I'm just like, there's real shit happening. But I hope whoever wins offers this is my ideal scenario. Somebody wins and they're like, how do you feel? And he's like, I just want to know if the president would like this trophy because he needs a participation trophy for everything. And they just called him out on the biggest stage in America. Because again, America waits for the one time a year where they can talk about commercials. Oh, Jesus. We are a collapsing empire, bread and circuses. When MAGAs realize Trump is just an old queen, they'll wake up. Who said that? Miss Lewin Poovy? Oh my God. You just made my day with that. Trump is an old queen. Look at him. Look at him. Look at all that makeup. What kind of foundation is that? Is that Rihanna's Fenty? You know, is that Fenty Orange? It's so incredible. Like, he's an old queen. Very sensitive. Music scares him, you know. Drinks water like this. He drinks water like this. You know, this is how Donald Trump drinks water. Oh my God. That's so funny. Thank you for that comment. By the way, good to see you, Sunshine Euphoria. And the fact that you support him, I really hope there's no children around you. Well, there's probably children around him. They're just probably called captives. Hey, what's up, John Deere? How you doing? How you been? How you been? Today is a stressful day in America. But don't worry. Look to Minnesota for hope. The people are gathering. The people are saying enough is enough. They are standing up for their rights. The Declaration, their inalienable rights endowed by the Creator, you know, if you believe in that sort of thing. I tend to believe in the George Carlin route, where they're privileges and they'll revoke them when they want, when their fucking benefactors tell them to. Oh, God. 619, I hope you're not in San Diego, because San Diego despises you. This is probably why you talk like this in a chat when you say, please tell me what's a woman. Bro, don't set me up for this. A woman is somebody who covers their drink when you walk by. Bada. Shit, you might as well call me Ice, because I just murked that dude on this live. Bitch. Oh shit, didn't even think of that. That's exactly why Trump isn't going. He doesn't want to get booed. His ego can't handle it. He can't. He's a fragile old queen. He's Epstein's best friend. He's not used to, you know, he's used to everybody fucking being held captive around him. All right, guys, listen. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. I'm here almost every fucking day. And I got a lot of other shit going on in my life, but I like taking time out to see you guys. Sunshine Euphoria, John Deere, Jess. I love you, Jess. I don't know if you're still here. Zen Ali, you snuck in, and I didn't even see it. Sorry, I get the hiccups. I gotta get a drink. Zen Ali, Zenin 4. Who are some new folks in here? Miss Tessa. Odava Rale. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Hobble Radian. Oh, who else is in here? Let's give some shout outs to some people. Did Jess leave? I didn't know if she snuck out, but. Yeah, Jess must have left. Well, to all my friends, to all my comrades, to all my homies, to all my people. I liked and subscribed. Love. This is my first time. Oh, that's super sweet. I appreciate you. I really do. Because this is what building a coalition, a movement, a community is. Whether it's virtual or not, it's still extremely important. So I appreciate you guys, for everybody who hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and will join me again. You know, because we fucking put these maggots in check. MAGATS. We put them in check. But on top of that, you know, we disseminate what's really going on. I'm not gonna sit here like Jessica Waters on Fox News and tell you that the green M&M's trying to make your cats read gay books so they can turn your kids into leprechauns, or I don't know what they're talking about. You know, I'm not Tim Pool. I'm not taking a bunch of Russian money to tell you Civil War and Ukraine's the real enemy. You know, It's just not going to happen. I'm not Joe Rogan gonna, start to criticize ICE and then backtrack as soon as Peter Palantir calls me and says, you don't make me pull that leash, little bitch Joe. That's all he is. He's just a bitch to the government. Oh, Zen Ali, you're quick on the draw. God damn, I was about to delete that person. But I appreciate you guys. All right, much love. And we're gonna, the funniest thing is, okay, hold on, Edward. Hold on, give me 1 second. There you go. If you chat again, Edward, you should be wrenched up. I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry, that distracted me. That's what we were talking about Zinin for. The latest ICE murking is another constitutional violation, an erosion of your rights and my rights, and it was just a straight, plain midday execution. Like, this is not the Wild West, folks. But Donald Trump's Epstein army, which is what the Proud Boys that are hired to be ICE are proving that they're taking your rights, like right now. And the only way to fight back is there's more of us than there are of them, and they're scared of that. They're terrified. I mean, maybe for some people it didn't make sense that when they were saying, oh, they're the 1%, that meant there's only 1% of them. A very small number. We should seize all of Elon Musk's assets and redistribute the wealth to the people. There's a very limited number of them. Very limited. There's 99% is us. You do the math. Oh God. Guys, I've brought the definition of fascism up here. And if you don't know it, what I would like you to do is there's some great I won't show the bottom part of this, but there are some amazing documentaries about the fascist movement, Mussolini in Italy, who aligned with Hitler and the Nazis. And you can learn all about it. Stop asking people in the chat. If you don't know, go educate yourself. Take some time. We know you don't have any friends. Just go do it. Very important. And don't forget, we're going to tax billionaires at 100%, and they're just going to have to live off $999 million. And if they can't, they're living outside of their means, folks. They are. Slim Racing, good to see you. Dude had a gun, Second Amendment, and a legal permit to carry in a state with legal open carry. Never reached for it. It was taken from him, and ran away. He was murked by the federal government. Literal definition of tyranny. Violated all his rights. And the dude was trying to protect two women who were being bear sprayed by the popsicle stick boys, the Epstein army. See, and this is the thing. Hold on, I want everyone to see House. You see his definition. They show you how fucking stupid they are. Like, it's amazing. Like, that guy typed that thinking like, ooh, I got him. And like, they don't realize they're proving they're morons. Just listen, believe idiots when they tell you they're idiots. Okay, I'm Rob, not only an ordained reverend, I'm your YouTube vibe coach, because I try to get you to see through the BS. And when somebody says something like that, understand they're telling you they're a moron. And they're like, fascism is just anything you disagree with. It's like, oh, bless your heart, you're a moron. You don't know what it means. Oh my God, that's adorable, you little stupid dummy. Do you have Velcro shoes, you little moron? So just remember that. When people say stuff, believe them if they're telling you how stupid they are. I mean, Donald Trump did to them, and they didn't listen. He said,
Smart people don't like me.
Smart people don't like me. So everybody who likes him in the chat is a moron, according to Donald. He also called you stupid and weak. But, But yeah. Horrible, horrible day. If you send prayers or energy or vibes or whatever, send it to Minnesota. Send them warmth. He's still telling us? Yeah, well, that's the problem. Here's the old Mark Twain quote. Don't argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience, okay? Let that be another lesson. Let that be a life lesson. Don't argue with the morons, because they're just, this is why, like, you can't argue with them people on Fox News. They're too stupid to get it. They're just going to drag you down to their level and then beat you with the experience a moron has. They have moronic experience. They're like, I can outdumb you any day. That's why Ben Shapiro was like, let's say climate change is real and all the homes on the coast get flooded. Don't you think they'll sell their homes? And like, nobody in the audience was like, to who? Who are you going to sell an underwater home to, bro? This isn't fucking Atlantis. Did you watch Star Wars too much? You know, and then H Bomber guy had to go viral and be like, to who, Ben? Aquaman? You know, it's like they're telling you they're fucking idiots. And some people are like, that's pretty smart. Yeah. My home flooded and I just sold it right away, made a profit. It's like, what are you talking about? These people are so stupid. Why are people protesting? Because ICE is not doing, no, ICE is not only doing their job, they are acting criminally. ICE cannot arrest, detain any American citizen. ICE does not have authority over U.S. citizens. There you go. They can't be fucking with U.S. citizens. They don't have much authority. That's why I call them the Epstein Army. So that's why. People are protesting because you're sending the Epstein Army to violate all our rights. That's why. Because they're saying, here in America, we don't carry papers. Here in America, ICE can't fuck with citizens. Here in America, you can't racially profile, or you used to not be able to. They say, here in America, you can't violate my First Amendment rights. And they're doing all of that. Speak out, stand up, do a live stream, do what I do, fucking talk about it, build a community. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, good to see you, Sim Racing. All right, guys. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. This was a one-off. Oh, no, I go live on the weekends a lot. I might go live tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jesus Christ, I hate watching the news. But go check out Hassan. I think he is on Twitch. No, I know he's on Twitch. I think he's live out at the protest in Minnesota. He might be inside by now because it's probably like -30 there. I know it's -1 here. And that's how you know people are pissed off. When they're out in -30 degree, they're making a statement. And God bless him. My heart is with Minnesota. I wish I was in Minnesota. Well, I love Minnesota. I'm glad to be a masshole, but they are inspiring. So whenever you feel down, just look to the protests. Look at what they're doing. Look at the community. Look at how they've organized. Look at how they come together to stand together for each other. Also, I linked a great article. I forget the dude's name. Written about the community building and standing together in Minnesota right now. And it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking. One of the lines out of it was like, these are all our children. Like, you can't, Epstein's best friend can't be kidnapping 5-year-olds. Like, these are all our kids. You don't get to do that. So it's powerful. It's in the description. I linked a couple other things too. Trump's going to be buried underneath hell. Oh, sorry. It's in the description. In the description of the video. All right, guys. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hit like if you want to. If you want, support the channel, super chat. And check out my class consciousness clothing. Link in the description as well. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.